top of the thing, right? I think we spelled that out. We want all warranties fully explained. Okay, the next thing on the agenda is our opt-out policy. There is no more. There are several people in the community, I think 20 or so, that have opted out of, in the event of a termination, the lot owners will reimburse the association for any and all costs, including legal expenses, required to bring the lot up to the community standard. This agreement shall not continue after the sale or transfer of the lot. The lot owner shall be responsible for all costs, if any, associated with restoring the lot to the original landscape plan and the community standards in accordance with current guidelines, in order for the HOA to provide landscape maintenance. The lot owners agree to assume the responsibility for notifying a prospective tenant or purchaser of the terms of this agreement and to have this agreement included in any estoppel letter issued by the association. The association shall have the absolute right to terminate this agreement if, in the opinion of the board of directors, it is in the best interest of the association. In this case, the association shall give not less than 30 days notice of termination. And we'll require all people who want to continue their opt-out agreement to sign this form. And I think that clarifies the position we're in. And there hasn't been a lot of trouble with these, but we need to make sure that if the house changes hands, it's not transferable. The new owner can come to us and ask to be included in this and sign a proper form, but that's up to the seller to notify the buyer of that. And I think that's only fair, so someone doesn't buy a house and find out after they close it, the buyer forgot to tell them something. Even though they're required by law to disclose it, that doesn't mean they will. We had John and Jason and I had a meeting just before this going over some of the landscaping issues and some of the budgetary items that we're looking at for landscaping and some of the other things. And there is a lot of concern in the community about the state of the landscaping. We fully realize that. We're 100% on board with that. We are working very hard with Down to Earth to get them over the next month or so, as they've indicated they could, to step up and get this property to the condition that's called for by the contract. John's committee is monitoring this. Jason is spearheading the liaison with Down to Earth. We're in constant contact with their upper management. So we're going to let that just, we understand that it's a mess and we fully take responsibility for letting it get this way, but we're working hard to get it right. And if it doesn't, there'll be a change. I mean, it's that simple. The community has to be brought up to the community standard that's in the contract. And if it isn't, then we're going to make other arrangements. And I think that's been made clear to Down to Earth and that they fully understand. You think they understand? We think they understand. And, you know, we want to give them every opportunity. Changing landscape companies is not something, you know, any community this size looks forward to. If we can get them to do what's right by us, then I think we should renew their contract. Portable tents at the pool area. At the Memorial Day, I think it was, pool party, several people brought portable tents and put them up in the pool area on the pavers. We had a lot of complaints about that. There were some serious safety issues with portable tents being not properly secured in the event of a thunderstorm or some big wind. The July 4th party, we told people that they were not allowed to have those tents until we reviewed the situation, and it was a day that called for a lot of thunderstorms, and we think we were certainly circumspect in asking people not to set up those tents on July 4th. Some of us have talked about it. We've talked to some of the people in the thing, and it seems one of the alternatives would be to let people, if they want to bring a portable tent, to set it up in the grass area where it can be adequately secured. There's these dog things you can drill into the ground to secure these tents, but when they get going, they can cause a lot of damage. Over there, outside of here, I think they're safe if they're properly stored. Jackie and I have been to hundreds of baseball games and beaches, and we've seen what can happen when a big wind comes up out of nowhere and these things start flying around. And they are prone to do that if they're not adequately secured. So, anybody else's thoughts on having it on a trial basis, letting them put them up out here.
As long as it only occurs during the major parties,
I
not
agree.
an ongoing
Yes.
item, right? Because that would damage the beautiful grass that we have right now.
I'm with you with that.
Yes.
Okay, well, I think, that makes sense to you?
Is the irrigation system at risk if they put it out there?
It's generally around the outside of the, we've looked into that when we put the horseshoe pits in. So we'll bring that up, Monday night? Okay. We're looking into an emergency call system.
I'm waiting on the contract from the company. It's called One Call, and it's for an annual agreement for unlimited use. There's three systems in one, basically, that it will send a text message, a phone call, and an email, a robo-type call and an email. It'll send out that message. Whenever you send out the message, you can choose which sources it will go to. Once if we go into an agreement with them, we can send them our contact list, and then every time someone changes, it's just a quick email to get it updated with their phone information. But when we put in the message, it's a web-based system, so you go in and put the message you want people to receive. You select the type of message, either phone, cell, or phone, text, or email, and then it'll blast that out. You can select all three as well. So if it's a high priority message, we can select all three to make sure everyone receives it. That message will go out at the same time to everyone. So right now, I'm just waiting on the contract to be sent over from One Call. Once we have that, I'll present it to the board for approval.
I think that's a really good
That's
idea.
right. It's okay if I make some comments or ask?
Good.
Okay. I'm kind of asking questions first. So when, that means they will have to have a full set of our residents, their information, like the phone number, email, and so on, right?
Right.
So a lot of people have requested for privacy, and some of that information is locked. So that means it will have to be unlocked for it to be available for them.
Well, we have that, as the association, we have contact information available. These are, we're talking about using this system for emergency messages such as storms that are coming, water shutoffs. The nice thing about this system is that it's not information that can be received by anyone else. So it's not something that anyone in the community can go in and find this information. This is basically in a database for the contact system. So they can choose, hey, I don't want my cell phone being out, I'm only giving my email. Well, then they would receive an email when we send it out, and that's it. They won't get the robocall or the text message.
So they will send it the three different ways,
It's
not
not a
one
day,
of the three.
Right.
They will send it the three different ways every time.
Well, that depends how we want to send a message. It's a choice we would make on our end. When we put the message in the system, then you select how you want it to go out. So if it's just something that's, one of the things we talked about is not using this as a constant message system, because then it
Right.
becomes watered down. People see the
Ignore
message
it.
and they ignore it.
Right.
We want it to be for, like, when we had the water leak issue. The nice thing about the system too is you can break it down by street. You can break it down by whole community, sections of the community. We can choose how many areas that we can break the community down by for communication. The other ones that I looked into, and I looked into a few of them, a lot of them, it was a mass email or an individual email, or you would select each name. And that would be, we would never get good messages out that way. This was one of the only ones that had you could source, like, by street, by zone, by, there was ways of doing that, but the contact information, the three sources, obviously two are the same, the phone and the text usually. But that would be up to the resident if they make a change to give it to us to update. The company within the annual cost of the agreement, they would it's constant update. There's no charge for any updates. There's no charge per message, just a flat fee, and it's based on the number of units in the community.
So we'll have to make it clear to the community as a whole that they are responsible for keeping us up to date on their changes.
Right, it would be absolutely up to the
Right.
residents. Once we get the initial, if they're, we send out a test message, if they don't receive it, then they would have to come and make sure that we're Yeah, and that's, the question is, was it, you know, did they not receive it, or what, did it go to their spam file? We don't know that. This, you know, this would be, we wanted to look into for a situation like that, because of people who are out of town, or people aren't looking at their email, they see it 2 days later, then they receive the email. That didn't help them a whole lot at that time. If it came through like a phone call or a text message, then they're getting it immediately. If we do all 3 methods like that, and people say they didn't get the message, sorry, you know, kind of, we've done all we can do. But I think we can do better than what we're doing now, and this was one of the ways that.
I think every single home, we have to have an emergency number for every home. You can't opt out of giving us an emergency number, and it's up to you to keep that up to date. There's no bunch of numbers. You give us but it's only, you put on the website what you want to put on the website. I mean, as far as other people can see. If you don't want your phone number on there, you don't want your email address, that's perfectly up to you. But this is a private thing that nobody sees except the association, group of phone numbers and the addresses. And the state of Florida, in its inimicable wisdom, has said that the actual address that the association is required to use is the address on the property appraiser's website. So that, if that, whatever address is on the property appraiser's website, whether it's your residence or another email address or address you give them, that's where the legal notices for the community will go, if they're written. It has to be mailed to that. That's where your tax bill goes, that's where you get your thing. So I think we should get that underway. And it'll be a little bit of a process to get everybody to update their numbers and stuff. We'll have to send out some test messages. It's like, John, how do you know if you sent out test messages? You didn't get it if there was a test message.
The sender address, we have several emails that we get as owners of the neighborhood. This alert one needs to have a differentiated sender address to make sure it doesn't get ignored. Because many people don't read all the other emails that come out.
Yeah, when we set up the system, like the email will come and it'll be titled from South Shore Falls, emergency notification, whatever we name it at that time. So it'll have a specific title. It won't just be from me or from the website, from South Shore Falls Homeowner Association. It would have a specific title to it.
Okay. Anybody else got any? The other thing we discussed is regarding landscaping is we're trying to quantify and get all the houses as part of this work with Down Earth trimmed and so forth to the community standard. I think as we discussed, if there's some houses that have made plantings that can't be trimmed to the community standard or shouldn't be, then those people are going to have to be responsible for doing that. But we're going to have to find a way to quantify that or make a list. So as they go around and they're trimming the houses, we're going to start to get a list of houses that need some extra attention, and we'll be in touch with those people about how to work that out. Is that about right?
Yes, sir.
Because, these guys, we send them out in the morning and tell them to trim, and this is how they're supposed to trim, and off they go. And hopefully, the trimming they've been doing, when they get to the trimming, they've been doing a fairly good job on the trimming, but we need to give them some guidance on some of the houses that have a lot of extra plants or some specialty plants or things like that that aren't part of the opt-out list. And as far as the opt-outs, I think we talked about putting different kind of stickers, maybe on the drain pipe or something on the side of the house, so they can really, the guys that are actually coming to the house can actually see it. Okay, anybody else have any questions from,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
The tents, the same will apply to the back pool, right? The same
There's no
rules?
place for those tents.
No place for tents at the back pool.
Except on the outside of the fence area where they have the and I'm mentioning it because there has been a tent in the back pool before. That's the main reason I'm bringing it up, okay?
Well, if it's on the grass area and it's adequately secured, well, we don't have parties down there, though.
Then we
No.
do, we have
Well, I have the volleyball parties every once in a while and stuff like that. I'd have to reacquaint myself with how much grass room there is to the back of the pool area before you get to the fence. Doesn't strike me that there's an awful lot of room there, but
There's picnic tables there, isn't there?
let me take a look at that and we'll talk about it
I
on the
mean,
way.
I agree.
it hasn't happened all the time, but it's happened before. So since there should be some equality between how we do the pools.
Well, there are two different kinds of pools. I mean, one has a lot of places in they're much larger attended, the 4th of July, the Memorial Day, the Labor Day parties here. But I agree, there are some things at the back pool, and we have got tables for there, we've got new umbrellas coming for the back pool. We're really taking a better look at the back pool to try to do a better job of keeping that pool area on a par with the pool area here. And we'll be talking about getting some picnic tables down there and adding a couple more umbrella tables, moving it out from underneath. So we'll be getting to that over this month, I would think. Anybody else have anything?
I got two.
Two.
309 Cedar Falls. Great job on the umbrellas. They're working great. The only problem is there are some people that are vertically challenged. And there's no way they can put the pin in. So the suggestion was to me was, could we have them set them up in the morning? Now they would call, somebody's gonna have to walk out there and do it, and it's probably not gonna be easy for the girls to do them. But they are nice, they're beautiful, and they work great. And I'm just sitting here watching one of the couples out there struggle with, it takes 2 people on that. So if you can get someone to put them up in the morning, take them down, watch for the wind, take it down in the afternoon when the wind kicks up.
One of the things we had talked about is doing some of them, doing a couple of them, setting them up, and then get somebody else, if it
Gets crowded, then
get out and start pulling some more up, rather than having, because when we get a storm blow through and there's all of them up, it's.
You got low.
Right, so we were thinking about putting through the different areas, have 1 or 2 in each area that's up, and then as crowds come, open up some more.
Number 2, before I spend more time doing this, I started doing some research on a billboard, electronic billboard. Ties into your situation with your mailing, with your notifications. You could put it at the entrance, not at the entrance, at the stop sign, one side or the other. It's electronic, it flashes, you can put in there HOA meeting tonight, bingo tonight, trivia tonight, all your events, water situation, contact the clubhouse or look at your emails to know if you got boil water, hurricane coming, anything you need to put, you can put on it. I did some research on it, they are a little pricey, but I'm also trying to find some, since it's an information thing to a community, we might find a grant for it. Is that I'm asking if we can start doing a proposal looking into that or not?
I just got the notification that the 2020 grant has been started. So we can file, if it falls under that thing, we can certainly make that part of a grant application for next year.
But, I mean, as a group, can we start getting an idea on what we're looking for or how we want to do it?
Where are you talking about putting it?
I'd like to put it right there at the stop sign. When you first come past the guardhouse and you stop there, put it 2-way.
For the few
People
people
leaving,
that do
people
stop.
coming, you gotta come and go from the community, you gotta see it one way or another.
I
You can see them in the sunshine, you see them all over the place.
have a little bit of a problem with putting any other annoyances near a stop sign. We have enough trouble, but I do see the,
Oh, the stop signs are on the right. This might make them stop to look at it, if you're putting something there.
I don't know, I think the idea makes sense. Where?
This isn't a new discussion. We talked about this 3 or 4 years ago.
Right, and it was taken.
And who was it? Was it Tammy that was trying to do it?
I was.
Yeah, probably, was it you? Oh,
Standing
okay.
in it, yeah.
Well, I can't tell the two of you apart sometimes, so. And I don't remember why it didn't go anyplace, but I can tell you, Tim, my best recollection of it is there was no groundswell of support.
Right.
And I think probably that came as much from the board as it did from the residents at the time. Board's changed a lot since then, so it might have a possibility of working. I don't see a real difficult problem with it, except for one thing, and that is that, well, there's a bulletin board, a large bulletin board on 41 as you come up from Apollo Beach Boulevard that flashes 3 or 4 different signs. It drives me crazy to get halfway through reading what it says and it goes to the next one. And I think it's a real attention draw. I'd have to be honest with you, I'd have to really think about that seriously, of how much you could put on there before one of two things happen. Either people are looking at the sign instead of driving their car, or stop the car in the middle of the road until they see all of the whole cycle. Because you could put 3 or 4 different messages on it that cycle,
Right.
and
I think if you avoided the cycling of messages, it would be
that would,
okay.
I would certainly be more inclined to be interested
I
in
think
that.
if you have an emergency message, it takes priority, and then if it's bingo tonight, that's fine. If there's nothing going on and it's bingo tonight, you can have bingo tonight, but keep the message very simple. Though, we had talked about this some, that,
Not like the one that's up here that rotates.
right.
Yeah.
It's just the event for the day.
Yeah, it's just almost like a billboard.
Right.
It stays that way, so if somebody's driving, I had thought, there's those columns, and I know you like the stop sign idea. I like that column when you're coming in, there's, between the 2 lanes, there's a column there, using some of the digital signs right there, because the people come in and see both, because there's the same column as you leave, you could put one, and then you're down to 2 of them,
Smaller.
a smaller one on that side, so you're coming and going the same type of message, because when we talked about it, when it was actually brought to me, was when we had that issue and we sent out those emails, most people don't read their emails unless they are looking for an email, or it's, hey, I have nothing. If it said on there, water line issue, check your email.
Yep.
Or, check your email or contact the front desk. It's that having information out like that would be nice. How we do it is, like you said, how we do it without making it a hindrance to people's driving.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's some Department of Transportation studies on
Yeah.
how long it takes you to read a message and what the maximum number of seconds to read
Which
would
is
be.
perfect, and the reason I like the gate issue is, either way, coming to that gate, you have to stop, because it says you have to. It says, wait for the other car to go through, and then you can go through. If there's a message up there in that time is when you would read the message. The stop sign, the only issue I have with the stop sign is that if we put something next to a stop sign, and somebody's reading that, and
They don't see the stop sign.
And the person behind you is gonna be boop,
Yeah.
beep, beep, or going around them
Right.
and trying to make a right turn right in front of them.
Tim, I know you're just starting to look, but have you seen anything that has double-faced sign?
Yeah.
And the only reason I ask that is I'm thinking about the area between the guardhouse and the stop sign, out where our infamous "this is a neighborhood watch community" sign is.
right,
That could easily be replaced. That way you can catch people going out to say there's trivia tonight or whatever it might happen to be, the same as
The
you.
only reason I like it up here farther is because a lot of people don't leave the community.
right. They
Yeah,
might go to the
well,
clubhouse.
that's very
And
true.
the other, going back to the original, when I was talking about one of those white signs like they put in Merritt Bay originally, and that, it's like a classroom billboard. And this maybe be a little bit more classier, pretty little thing.
Okay.
The question would be where to put it.
Yeah, let's look at that, but,
And if you find it at the right price, what you're talking about, you can do 3 of them, one at the entrance to the clubhouse here, and then at the gate there, or somewhere in that vicinity.
The
There's,
gate is the place,
Right.
the logical place, because you have to stop.
right,
Yeah.
but I think since it's right, there are people who, they don't leave the community, they just come to the clubhouse. So if we have the same messages, somewhere over here, we have the same message,
we put it on that one up there.
yeah.
We could always just have Linda yell a message out as typical page.
And don't forget bingo.
But I can work with your maintenance group, and we can
Okay.
find a proposal to give to the board
Let's
to,
do a study, see where you guys would be comfortable placing it, and then we'll look and see if I can find some money for it.
All right,
because we've even looked at the option, there was some outdoor TVs that I've seen in banks, they turn sideways,
oh, yeah.
and it's the same type of board, but what do you need beyond that TV to be able to make that
They
message?
should be pretty inexpensive now, the way TVs and electronics.
But the message boards are a little pricey because they have,
Actually, is more upkeep, something you gotta spend money on. I mean, to me, we got issues in here, big issues that need to be taken care of first. Like landscaping, like, irrigation,
Those are on the front burner for sure.
This was a grant, if I could get it free.
And you can call your girlfriend out there at the contact. Okay, anybody else? Okay, I think we're adjourned. Thank you very much. We'll see you,
Monday night.
Monday night, 7 o'clock.